Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Zap Entertainment. I'm your host, Surduku, and here is my partner, Gun Kid. I'm sorry about that. I keep forgetting that my camera's a little bit kind of flippy floppy.
Yeah.
Um, so we're back to book time. So what one we're gonna do this time? Actually, hang on a second. Catastrophic failure.
Fail.
Failure.
We can never escape. We cannot run
I
faster
blame
than
you for
he can.
that one, but anyways.
He runs uphill. We run downhill, tumbling.
All right, here we go.
Infinite World of Battle Quest. Written by Zach Salvi. Season 1 Book 7. The Test Part 1.
So today it looks like we're doing a two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, the next episode of Battle Quest. What do you guys think about that? And how have you been enjoying these episodes of Battle Quest? This little montage. Well, um, what's it called when the television channels have like a bunch episode after episode after episode? I
I
forget.
think it is. I know the word. Fuck. It came to my mind and went away. I think it's montage or
I don't think montage is the right one.
marathon.
Marathon. How are you enjoying the Battle Quest marathon so far, there, Gun Kid?
It's doing good. I'm just impressed at our people. Besides the bitch. Fuck that bitch.
Gary.
Mm-hmm. And Eldritch. I don't care to
Eldred. It's Eldred.
Eldred. I don't care if mentions remember his name because he's so far he's lost a lot of points.
All right. So, how about we begin?
Indeed.
The Test Part 1. It has been over 2 weeks since the great wizard Merlin created a guild. Every guild member in training knows that once a week during the weekend that they can take a test of their choice. Nobody knows what the test actually are other than that there's two versions of the test. One is for those who are training to be warriors and those who are training to be spellcasters.
Okay. So this is Merlin's little setup.
Warriors and mages.
Yes. I'm just gonna. We're gonna do that real quick. And then save because it just didn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this is gonna be complicated because this is looks like we're starting off with a big fucking
Starting out strong.
yeah, with a lot of frickin' dang
We're coming out of the gate swinging right now.
yeah. Okay, here we go.
We're gonna make haymaker right now.
On Saturday morning, Cayenne, the
Let's
young
go.
Minotaur, finds himself standing in front of the massive wall protecting Camelot from the monsters beyond. At that moment, as Cayenne was looking at the wall, he remembers how many times he stole weapons and went out on his own. He has gotten himself close to being killed several times, but he always felt that if he didn't learn how to be a warrior now, then he will never learn. After all, growing up can be a death sentence for some people. So with a heavy sigh he looks at the wall with courage and valor and holds up his fist for a dedicated promise. Today is the day I become a warrior that I was always destined to be. A full-fledged guild member. It is now a promise that I will never break to myself, said Cayenne with courage. Then he turned around and started to walk away from the wall, mentally preparing himself on what could these mysterious tests that the great wizard Merlin has set up.
Finally, we're doing a frickin' like story on Cayenne.
Yes, but I would. My personal opinion, I'll replace courage with what's conviction. Instead of conviction.
We'll put in a pin in that. I'm having the minor
Yep.
issue I gotta take care of. All right, so the answer to your thing about that, I think it's fine the way it is.
All right.
I would actually would put valor, but even I don't know. I just don't like using the word valor for.
Way too much.
Yeah, I just don't like using it for some reason.
What do you think? I'm called Zarduku's Bloody Dictionary. Hey, let's commence forth and let's awkward silence. Come on.
Okay. I just got you basically caused Zertuku's brain to be like Edex fail.
I'm not going by run by administrator at this point. I called a fucking tech company. You're like, yeah, you're better off on your own. Click.
Sorry, man. This shit is too shitty. You're on your own.
What factory did you come from? You really like, bitch. We don't even know.
that was a line from frickin' Tank on Angry Video Game Nerd. So I'm not even too sure if you even caught the reference.
It's been a while since I watched this stuff, especially this old stuff. I need to start watching that stuff again.
Yeah, that was that was definitely from one of his old videos, I think.
Yeah.
I think yeah, it was about the ping pong thing that he sent it to the repair person, and the repair person said, "Yeah, this is too shitty for me to work on, so you're on your own, bro." All right.
Every guild member knows that if you want to take the test depending on what class you want to be, if you're training to be in the warrior class, then you must seek Sir Lancelot and tell him that you want to take the test during the weekend.
Markiplier.
Cayenne has heard from word of mouth that Sir Lancelot does not take guild teaching seriously, and as a result he always goes to the tavern on the weekends. So instead of going to dojo where he's supposed to wait to see if there's anybody who wants to take the test today, he went to ask if Sir Lancelot was at the taverns today. Cayenne approaches the tavern where everybody is drinking and having a good time. Sir Lancelot is inside a tavern with a 6 feet tall black man with lavender glowing eyes and knight's armor. Not to complain or anything there, Sir Lancelot, but aren't you supposed to be at the dojo today? Asked the black man.
I'm not sure if Markiplier would take that job seriously or not.
It's not Markiplier. It's Wilford Warstash.
So he's at the tavern getting drunk instead of teaching people.
I think this is Wilford Warstash said Markiplier. Markiplier would probably take it seriously. Wilford Warstash, nah. I'm at the bar, you blaster. Wilford Warstash, the party at.
Alright. And paste next one. I'm just checking to see. Yeah, okay, we're recording. We're 7 minutes in. Here we go.
Yeah, they're Benevere, but there's no point of me being at the dojo
Benevere.
today.
Benevere.
I mean, there are probably a few of them that are capable of taking the test, but I have a feeling that no one has the courage to ask. Sir Lancelot responded, looking a bit drunk after drinking 3 cups of mead. Is that because most of the trainees are kids? Don't you think you are underestimating the younger trainees? I mean, I remember the story you told me about that little young minotaur who took out a full-grown barbarian. Benevere responded, drinking with Lancelot. Now listen here, hiccup. My friend, that was pure luck, hiccup. There's no way that little baby cow could possibly take out a full-grown man, again said Sir Lancelot, drinking more mead.
Okay, there, Byakugan. Now I have questions. Is Benevere spelled right? I don't know. I'm not sure. But the problem is he's used a few times. He's not really a main character, but he's used a lot, so I'm not sure if I really want to go through all the editing thing.
Even though he has the same name as one of the knights, Guinevere.
So basically, that's Guinevere's brother.
Yep.
Which is kind of important for the sake of the lore of the book, but, you know. Alrighty. And here we go for the next one.
Would you like me to test that theory again? Said a very familiar little boy's voice, getting both Ben and Lancelot's attention. They looked to see that Cayenne is standing 2 feet from them, looking at Lancelot with courage. Who let you in the tavern if they're young child? Asked Ben, looking
Screw you there, frickin' dang gun,
Who let you in the tavern, their young child? Asked Ben, looking slightly drunk. I asked a bartender if Sir Lancelot was here, and sure enough you're here getting drunk and not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Said Cayenne with a hint of frustration. Sir Lancelot slammed his drink down and stood up looking down at Cayenne.
Okay. I guess there's not really much to react to that, I guess.
Not much. It's just a drunken brawl about to happen. Let's test it again. Takes one step, falls on the floor dead. No, unconscious, and fucking snores. Cayenne looks to the night. Does this happen every time? He's a lightweight when he drinks. Wilford Warstash is not a lightweight. Fucking passes out.
Hang on a second. I want to make sure I save that so it doesn't crash on me, bastard.
Bastard.
You think I would be so drunk that I will not be able to serve my king? My poor young cow, you don't understand the power of Sir Lancelot, said Lancelot with ignorant confidence. Then prove it to me by putting me through the guild members' test, shouted Cayenne with confidence. Lancelot looked at Cayenne with shock and then slowly sat back down in his chair. Are you sure there, Cayenne? Don't you think you're a bit young to be risking your life now? I mean, you are a bit young and you have a lot of years ahead of you, said Sir Lancelot with nervousness.
Uncertainty.
I think it's more like he doesn't have a lot of confidence in this child, so he's
he's
like,
uncertain about this child's decision.
dude, you're gonna get yourself killed.
You're about to get yourself killed, but I'm part of one of the main trios. Oh shit. Big stretch. Whoop. I yawned.
Trust me when I say that age has nothing to do with being a warrior. It takes both courage and knowledge to prove yourself a warrior. I had more enough training, I believe, so I feel that I am ready, said Cayenne, looking at Lancelot with a look of do you worse on his face. Lancelot looks at Cayenne's determined face for a bit before responding. Sigh. Very well, young Minotaur. I shall do what you ask, but you will soon understand that you should not have taken this test now. The 3 tests that has been suggested by Merlin, I meant to push you to your limits to see that you're ready to take on the horrifying beast beyond, said Sir
I was wondering why that was wrong.
And also, I want to go back
to the 3 tests that has been suggested.
What?
Go back up to where it says "do your worst." It was like it just only says "you." Where it said the look of "do your worst." There's only "you" there. No, it's not "your."
With a look of "do you." Yeah, it's right here. It's right. It says "you." You worst.
It says "do your." It needs to be your.
Oh, doubt.
Don't. Bart.
Mars. Did we finish this with the audio? You know what? Fuck it.
Nope.
Lancelot looks at Cayenne's determined face for a bit before responding. Sigh. Very well, young Minotaur. I shall do what you ask, but you will soon understand that you should not have taken this test now. The 3 tests that has been suggested by Merlin are meant to push you to your limits to see that you're ready to take on the horrifying beast beyond, said Sir Lancelot with seriousness, looking like he just became sober.
Okay. Okay, paste again and then save. Copy. Next.
Next.
I at least want to try to see if I am ready. Cayenne responded with humility and understanding of the situation. Lancelot smiles, understanding that Cayenne might be actually be ready.
Minor thing.
Minor inconvenience.
Lancelot smiles, understanding that Cayenne might be actually be ready. A good warrior is one that understands the situations, With that bit of philosophy out of the way, we should begin your tests, Cayenne, said Lancelot as he stands up and guides Cayenne out of the tavern to begin his test. After Cayenne and Lancelot
Are you
left the
gonna pay?
tavern, they stopped at the dojo for a moment where Lancelot went inside the dojo to pick up something unknown to Cayenne. Then they proceeded to head towards one of the gardens in Camelot. As they approach the garden, Cayenne recognizes that this is one of the gardens that is hardly used.
Okay, first thing, it says might be
Yeah,
actually.
I was about to.
Oh, or is it or be might actually? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Down.
they removed the first B.
I
Stop.
yeah, I got rid of freaking ding on the T by accident. Is it T?
Homer Simpson. Yep, MIGHT.
All right. And also, I imagine that he did pay for the drinks. It just wasn't important enough in the story to put in.
I can't wait when I write just the civilians' POV of this, the citizens, the guards. There's a
If
fight
it-
down Mill Street.
If and when you get your glasses fixed.
I'll probably say in your first bit. It won't be long because like snippets.
Okay.
It is further to the north of Camelot's grounds. As they approach the gardens, Cayenne notices that there is a bunch of guards standing around the gardens, which is extremely unusual. Eventually they arrive to the center of the garden, where they find a bear-like creature within an iron cage with an upside-down magic crystal inside with the beast. They stop in front of the cage. Okay, young brave Minotaur. As a guild member teacher of these important tests, I cannot tell you what is the purpose of these tests. All I can do is tell you the goal, and the purpose is something for you to decide on your own. With that being said, your first test is to survive within the cage with that beast. And you need to do it while armed, said Sir Lancelot as he shows him the axe from the dojo. It is Cayenne's two-handed axe. Cayenne immediately recognized that this is a test of courage. Without saying anything, Cayenne took his axe. Then Cayenne turned around and started to head towards entrance of the cage, with no fear on his face.
Test of endurance and willpower.
Well, this is more of a test of courage.
That's what. Sometimes courage is sometimes willpower. Like, are you strong enough to endure this?
Are you brave enough to take on a monster?
Known as character's backstory, yes.
Alrighty. Okay.
Oh no, it's not it's you.
Fucking.
In this universe, there's no such thing as huh or it's you.
Just play.
When he arrived at the door of the cage, the door automatically opened, and then he walked inside, closing him in with the terrifying beast caged within. Sir Lancelot had a slight sense of fear that he might fail, but he whispered within his head, "Please prove me wrong again, Cayenne." All of a sudden the magic crystal within the cage seems to give the bear a lethal shock, which seems to strengthen the terrifying beasts into a frenzy of anger. He stares at Cayenne with a lust for food. Even though the beast has an intimidating size and a look of malevolence on its face, Cayenne's courage does not waver. Instead, he holds his axe with his two hands and squats his legs down, ready for combat. The bear makes the first move as he swings his menacing claws to shred his flesh. Cayenne counters by aiming for his arm and opens the beast arm with his axe.
Okay, things are gonna get kind of crazy.
Yep, as you can tell, because it's all one.
Oh yeah,
paragraph.
this looks like it's all action.
Yep.
Okay. First, I'm gonna save, and then we're gonna go on to the next one.
At first the creature growls in pain, but then the creature counters attack with his other arm. Cayenne uses the blunt of his axe to reduce the damage as the beast claws hits his axe, which slams into his face that causes him to become airborne. denying a fall by wall jumping off the iron cage and then landing on the ground using his momentum to jump towards the creature ready to swing his axe. With no mercy in his heart, Cayenne swings the axe attempting to decapitate the monster, but the magic crystal creates a magical force field preventing him from beheading the target. The magical energy seems to hurt the creature, but Cayenne, with his courage and lack of knowledge, he decides to push through the force field.
Hmm.
"That's enough, Cayenne," shouted Sir Lancelot. Cayenne heard what Lancelot said, so he used his hoof on his foot to push off the force field. After doing that, the beast seems to disappear in a bright light of lavender-colored magic. After the beast disappears, Lancelot opens the cage and then invites Cayenne to leave the cage. Cayenne puts away his axe and then steps out of the cage with Lancelot. "Well done there, young Minotaur. You showed that despite being a living creatures you showed no mercy," said Lancelot.
So I'm guessing that Merlin did not want the creatures to be killed. Just
Test the person's resolve if he would.
okay.
And probably some animal rights activists in his universe, probably. I'm not sure.
Not really.
Well,
Trust me, it's the complete opposite. But whatever.
yeah, I figured.
And the reason for that is that a lot of the civilians of Amahara, they find the creatures to be more like unsympathized monsters, so they don't really have any sympathy for these creatures, only fear.
They respect wildlife basically, but they fear it.
Well, they don't even most. Well, it depends on which race you're talking about. Most of the races don't have any respect for nature in this universe, except for the elves and the druids, and that's about it.
The wild folk. The wild folk.
Yeah, most of the wild folk. Yeah.
"I wouldn't say that mercy is for the weak, but I cannot tell you how many times I tried to explore the world on my own and I have seen the monsters beyond. The beast beyond don't care how young you are or what you are nothing but food to them, and as a result you have to set aside sympathy for those who deserve it. Wild monsters do not deserve sympathy." Cayenne responded with his wisdom and understanding of what he learned. "Well there, young Minotaur, not only have you shown great courage but also humility and understanding of a great warrior. Because of that you passed the first test," said Sir Lancelot. Cayenne did not respond, but he accepted the victory with a nod of his head.
Not
Hang
bad,
on.
kid.
I'm just because there's a part here that didn't make any sense. Yeah, it was right around here, I think.
I'm grabbing my phone just in case we need to do any spelling checks or something, or
"The
proper
beast
words.
beyond don't
If
care
we-
how
if they
young
up
you
to
are
it.
or what you are nothing but food."
Yeah, that you are thing. What is
Yeah.
that? What is that?
Let me get back up.
"The beast
Play it
beyond
again.
don't care how young you are or what you are nothing but food to them, and as a
I'm not.
Here.
I'm not too sure if that's supposed to be there or not with all those different U's.
Or probably put like a. I don't know what the proper thing it's called. It's like you put like paragraphs where it shows where the sentence ends. Not a period, but like a comma.
Yeah, I don't know there, guys. You guys can leave it in the comments below because I have no fucking idea.
I took enough English classes to know about some structures, but I don't know how well to describe them to you.
It's I think what it is, it's like it I think what it is there's the reason why there's a lot of views is because it's kind of like explaining of the creatures how they view you as a
Yeah.
human being, so that's why there's
If you as a fellow sentient, fellow living thing, you're only food to them
yeah.
because it's rules of nature.
All right.
After that, Lancelot began to guide Cayenne back to the dojo. However, on the way, Lancelot starts a conversation with Cayenne. "You did a good job, young Minotaur, but your next test will be much more difficult. Your next challenge will be facing off against your fellow students. However, I select the opponents that you will face. It will be 3 different one-on-one battles with no deadly force. To win, you need to defeat all 3 of them without giving up or being forced out of the ring. If you waver, you will fail," explains Sir Lancelot as he walks towards the destination with Cayenne behind him. "I never waver from any challenge," Cayenne responded, keeping up with Lancelot. Lancelot gives a smile of believing in Cayenne.
Okay, so now he's gonna have to do some Mortal Kombat.
Well, probably less murder between
Yes,
fellow
it
champions.
it is. He did say no deadly force.
So probably less Mortal Kombat, more of a spar, basically.
Yeah, you actually basically have to win like 3 matches in a row of like sparring matches.
Probably say like Street Fighter, like.
Is Street Fighter less deadly? I don't know, man.
Yeah, Street Fighter is less deadly and there's no fatalities in Street Fighter.
I don't know, man. I never played Street Fighter. No. I heard of it, but I never actually understood it.
I played it and I heard of it.
Eventually they arrive at the dojo, and then Lancelot gives Cayenne the wooden version of his axe. "Now stand in the center of the orange circle in the middle of the ring," ordered Sir Lancelot. Cayenne does so without question. "Now I shall call upon your first opponent. You're up first there, George," said Sir Lancelot as he turns to look at the entrance of the dojo, and then George and Gary enter the
They're still
dojo.
here?
George enters the ring with his
I thought
wooden
these two
spear with no
pussies
point.
left.
"It is time to get some revenge there, Mr. Cow," said George with mockery. Gary leans against the wall, smiling with sinister intent, thinking that Cayenne is about to be humiliated. "Begin," shouted Sir Lancelot.
Well, they didn't leave the town. They just left the minor battlefield from the last.
I thought they'll be disqualified because they only want to participate in the education.
They weren't disqualified.
I would sure fucking kick them out. If they ain't taking the teaching seriously, boot to the floor. They're gone. Seriously, these guys are just failures walking. A walking failure. You are failure.
No!
I am now Steve
Stop!
P. I am manifest.
No!
You are
My
failure.
friend has been infested by Steve P. No!
You cannot do exorcist. I walk uphill and downhill for this body. Failure. Where am I? Oh hey Zerk, where have I been?
Gun Kid, I don't know what to do anymore, bro.
Folks, this is a cry for help.
Back to the book.
George sprints with his spear like a battering ram, charging at Cayenne at full speed. Cayenne swings his axe to deflect the piercing attack, but George rebounds, elbowing Cayenne in the back, pushing him forward. Then George goes for Cayenne's feet with the wooden spear. Cayenne quickly lifts up his foot to evade the attack. With anger and frustration, George goes for another piercing attack, but Cayenne blocks with 2 hands on his wooden axe. Right before George can react, he makes another back turn as quick as Cayenne can possibly push himself, and uses of the momentum to kick George in the chest with his hood-like foot. Resulting impact causes George to go flying out of the ring and crashes into the wall. "Well done. Cayenne is the winner of this match. Now your next opponent will be Freya," said Sir Lancelot.
He just got Super Smash Brothered.
Yeah, but I like to say, he's a Minotaur, right? So he has like a cow-like legs, right?
Where did he just kick him or something? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I took my attention off the computer for 1 second.
If you get kicked by either a horse or a cow, it will still fucking hurt.
Oh yeah, with your ouch video.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy's ribcage is inverted in on itself. It is now dust. It's pulp.
Yeah.
The moment when you go to the surgeon table, if he cuts him in his chest, it'll be like a bunch of fucking dust comes out. Where's the bones? Good question, doctor. The bones turn to confetti.
After that, the angel Freya enters the dojo and then makes her way to the center of the ring with wooden sword and shield in hand. Then George and Gary leave the dojo. Our master took it way too easy on you for your first match, but now you face me, and I can assure you, despite being a girl, you're going to have to fight with all your might if you want to pass a test to be a guild member, said the young angel Freya. Girls and women are not meant to be warriors, so whatever injuries I cause you is your own fault. Kyan responded with seemingly courage.
Sexist!
Yes!
Freya felt angry from Kyan's comment.
Alright, Kyan lost some points. I forgot how sexist he was.
Well, it's to do with his race. His race is very sexist.
Don't care, didn't ask. Plus, now you're a bitch. The only one who's on my good suit is a Roy, sadly. And he's a bunch of airhead. At least he has some redeeming qualities. You're just sexist. I don't care if your tribe will teach that shit. Dumbass. Boop. You look at old man Bill ain't there. He'll slap you beside the head, boy.
Very, very. It's to do with his race, because his race believed that women are not meant to be warriors.
Trust me, as a will myself, if I see a woman knock some ass down, that's a woman.
Zerduko DXD has failed. Trying to digest that information. Whatever, back to the book.
Break me.
Break. Oh my dear God! What's this copy and paste? Good lord.
We done this to ourselves. Actually, you did. Ow.
Karma!
I cracked my neck and it felt like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Alrighty, back to the book.
Feeling disrespected, Freya decided to throw everything she got to take him down to prove him wrong. Now begin, yelled Lancelot. Immediately Freya launched herself towards Kyan with rocket speed. However, Kyan was determined to become a guild member, so he showed no mercy with blocking the attack with his wooden axe. As a result, the wooden sword and wooden axe collide with a loud noise. However, the resulting impact of Freya's attack caused Kyan to slide backwards a few inches. At that moment, Kyan realized that he underestimated Freya. So Kyan used his strength to break the stalemate and then counter-attack, but he missed. When Kyan looked up, he realized why he missed.
She can fly too! Oh boy!
Dumbass!
Oh, we got green.
Oh, I'm not doing it again. Keep going.
Okay.
I think the audience already understands it. Let's keep going.
Green is wind.
Okay, thank you, parrot.
Freya is now flying 10 feet above him. He realized that Freya flew over the counter-attack. Feather storm, yelled Freya as a storm of raining feathers come out of her wings like a storm of raining needles. At that moment, Kyan felt a twitch of fear, not knowing what to do next from the situation. Out of panic and instinct of survival to the unexpected attack, Kyan raises his wooden axe to reduce the damage. As a result, the needle-like feathers cut his delicate skin beneath his fur as they impact behind him as well. After the attack was done, Kyan fell to his knees but used his axe from falling completely down. At that moment, Lancelot wasn't too sure if he should stop the fight.
I feel like that's karma for Kyan.
Yep. Do not underestimate your opponent. Gender, male or female, doesn't matter. It's a. Do not discredit your opponent, and do not discredit your opponent's gender. It matters little in the eyes of a fight.
Freya goes for a diving attack, season or a moment, knowing her opponent is now weakened and now she is going for the final blow. As Freya was about to strike, she sees Kyan raise his head with a look of confidence staring in her eyes. At that moment Freya realized that Cayenne was only faking the amount of damage that he took, but it was too late to stop the dive bomb attack. Cayenne timed it right and then jumped in the air, twirling his body with his axe out. Skull splitter. Cayenne yells in his head as a resulting attack hits Freya in the back with the wooden axe, causing her to roll face first out of the ring and then against the wall with an incredible amount of force. Freya severely injured, she faints from the attack. It appears that Cayenne is the winner of this fight. However, before we go on to the next battle, do you yield? Said Sir Lancelot.
Okay, so Cayenne frickin' turned the battle around. I don't know what to think about that.
I still don't care about Cayenne. He's sexist. Fuck him. It's a modern era. Change, idiot. We can't all be ourselves.
For him, it's the medieval ages.
Don't care. Didn't ask. Plus shotgun. I have a boomstick. Your argument's invalid.
I'm the writer, bitch.
Did I say? Did I ask?
No, what you implied.
What did I fucking imply?
Whatever, man. Let's just back to the book.
Huff. Will, never, huff, yield, said Cayenne as he looks at Lancelot with a look of unraveling spirit. At that moment Lancelot was worried about the cuts on his arms and legs and other parts of his body where he is losing blood. However, out of respect of another warrior's wishes and the fact that he has to obey the rules as a guild member, teacher said he has to let him continue regardless of whatever pain he is in. Very well there, young Minotaur. Follow me to your next and final battle, said Sir Lancelot with reluctance. Cayenne did not respond, but he listened to his master and followed Lancelot to his next battle. With blood, sweat and tears, Cayenne follows Sir Lancelot to a familiar place. When they stop, Cayenne looks around to notice that he is in the apple orchard where he once fought Goliath.
I sense a boss fight.
Want to hear boss music? The opponent of glowing eyes appears right behind him. Want to hear boss music? Doom music starts playing.
Oh dear God, what the fuck happened? Okay.
I had a seizure.
Stupid dang gun. Open office, whatever the fuck you're doing, bro.
Your final opponent will be the young giant Goliath, said Sir Lancelot as he leans against a tree. Cayenne was unable to respond because he was nearly exhausted from the last two fights. Goliath shows up with a giant club in his hand. Goliath looks down at the exhausted Minotaur. Are you sure you wish to do this there, honorable warrior? If you push yourself any further then you may die, said Goliath with concern. At that moment Cayenne realized that this is a test of endurance. Then I shall die, huff, as an honorable warrior, Cayenne responded as he readies himself for the fight. After that Goliath did not respond, instead he just ready himself for battle, respecting Cayenne's wishes.
Okay, Jesus H. Christ, Sir Cayenne. That's an unbreakable spirit right there.
Yes, but foolish. To many some eyes. Because he's running on low stamina, he may exhaust himself, or hell yet.
Yeah, I can't go all the way down, so I'm gonna have to take this a little bit. We'll take this chunkier.
Begin, yelled Sir Lancelot.
Is it raining?
Immediately Goliath charges with his club and begins to swing it like a golf club. But Cayenne also charges and then jumps onto the tip of Goliath's boot, causing Goliath to miss the strike. Then Cayenne jumps to the top of his boot and uses the wooden blade of the axe to swing himself upward. With Cayenne in the air, Goliath jumps backwards and then winds his club up for a swing. Cayenne uses his wooden axe to block the attack. The resulting impact caused Goliath to lose his club, which falls onto the ground and makes him stumble backwards a few inches. Immediately Goliath tries to attack by punching Cayenne out of the air. but Cayenne counters attack with the skull splitter technique and uses it to hit Goliath's knuckle, causing him to step back in pain.
Jesus Christ, where is he getting this? He's basically gone to berserk mode.
Berserk's laughing because he's not even near berserk mode. Trust me, I've seen true berserk mode. He's not. He's just rookieing it.
After Goliath looks at his hand and thinks to himself about being impressed by Cayenne's strategy to get out of a situation. Goliath looks at his bruised knuckle, looking around for Cayenne, but he has lost sight of him. Goliath looks to the left and to the right, he does not see him. Without him in sight, Goliath decides to pick up his wooden club off the ground. Unknowingly, Cayenne is hiding behind the giant club, and when Goliath comes to pick it up, Cayenne jumps onto the wooden club and then launches himself at Goliath's head with a catastrophic headbutt. The resulting headbutt literally cracks the 1 foot of steel helmet on Goliath's head and causes him to stand up and walk backwards.
Okay. Where's the point of where you actually are impressed at a gun kid?
He still needs to get some brownie points. I don't like his personality so far. His moves are impressive. He just needs to change his personality.
Well, okay, so yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense that he's really good at being a fighter, but his personality, it's kind of shaky.
Yep.
He all brawn, no brains.
Yep, all bronze, no brains.
Cayenne lands on the ground and
brains, lack thereof.
Cayenne lands on the ground and watches the young giant stumble backwards. The catastrophic headbutt has made Goliath a bit dizzy. He drops to his knees and tries to look forward to try to collect his bearings. However, while he's doing that, Cayenne uses the blade of his wooden axe on a tree branch to swing upwards toward Goliath's face. Goliath just manages to get his vision back before the strike, but it was too late for him to block the attack. Cayenne swung his wooden axe and hits Goliath directly in his eye and causes him to flop on the ground. It appears that yet again Cayenne is the winner, said Sir Lancelot, approaching Cayenne. However, before Cayenne can respond or say anything about his victory, he falls on the ground from exhaustion.
I thought so. He overexerted himself.
He overexerted himself, but he still managed to win.
Which I will admit is impressive, but he's not going to get much points. And we're in this fast. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go through this a little quickly because I think it's thunderstorming outside, and it's probably going to knock out the power. I don't know.
How do we get to this part? Through this part, don't
we already started. We already started, which means we can't stop. It's go no stop.
Yes,
moment.
I'd rather not lose all this progress in this video.
Well, it's too late. It's too late, Gun Kid. It's like I said, go no stop.
You are a bad mentality right there.
We're on the point of no return.
You are. I ain't. I have a life preserver.
So, here's what I'm going to do there, guys. We're going to go back to the original plan. We're going to finish this particular chapter and we'll do the next one tomorrow. But since we're on a go no stop mode, we're going to go until we finish this chapter.
All right. Let's go.
Sir Lancelot picks Cayenne up to take to the church for magic healing purposes. 4 hours later, Cayenne wakes up in a bed covered in bandages. After a grunt of pain, Cayenne looks to the left to see that Sir Lancelot is sitting there waiting for him to wake up. "I failed a test, didn't I?" asks Cayenne with sadness, believing that he has lost again. "No, you have not failed a test.
Dude.
In matter of fact, you're exceeding my expectations," Lancelot responded. "But the day is over, therefore I cannot finish the test, right?" asked Cayenne with a hint of fear of failure. "Unfortunately for you, the test is not over. There is still one last test you must complete before you can become a guild member," Lancelot responded.
You must fight Will for a war stash.
I feel like that would be an unfair final test because I kind of like imagine Sir Lancelot in this particular universe as kind of like a high level knight.
Yeah.
That's like a level 1 going against like a level 20.
Level fucking 50 more at it.
Fair enough.
Motherfucker, when he get hit by level 50 attack, he probably nothing but fucking dust in the air.
I'm afraid it's not going to be so easy to get rid of Cayenne because he's proven himself to never yield.
Yes, but that could also be his downfall if he finds an opponent that's way stronger than him. He's getting good, yes, but one day he may miscalculate his strength.
He's already done that and when has a kid several times.
Sigh of relief. Thank the god of earth. Cayenne responded with a hint of happiness. At that moment Lancelot could not help himself but admire Cayenne's bravery. However, after that Cayenne remembered something important. What about the others? I could care less about George, but what about Freya and Goliath? Are they okay? Asked Cayenne with concern.
Alright, dude, getting some points
George
back.
is just fine, and even though Freya almost broke her neck from the fall, she is still alive. However, for Goliath, after you defeated him in battle, he told me to tell you that he will follow you anywhere, Lancelot responded. So that giant will join me in any battle? He is a great and honorable warrior, said Cayenne with a calm voice.
Notice that he never mentioned Freya.
Wait, what, Freya?
He never mentioned Freya. Well, Cayenne never mentioned Freya. He just talked about Goliath.
Never mind. Point subtracted. Thank you for catching.
Yeah, I wanted to point that out to you.
I thought you said what were the others, and I thought you mentioned Freya, but I guess he never did. So he lost some points.
Yeah,
You're in negative zone.
the person that you oh yeah. Well, he did. Okay. Yes, they believe that women are not meant to be warriors, but that doesn't mean they don't want them to die. I mean, there's a big difference there. You know what I mean? Between race sexualism and lack of humanity.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that's the right word, but you know what I mean. Lack of sympathy for women. There we go.
Yep.
Did I edit this at all? Or is it
I don't
perfect?
think so, no.
Okay, well then we can just move on then. Go all the way down here. Copy, paste, and let's go!
As I said before there, young Minotaur, your test isn't over yet. Once you feel better enough to get up for the next and final test, we can begin at your choice, said Sir Lancelot. Just out of...
Why is it you... Yeah, hang on.
Once you feel better enough to get up for the next and final test, we can begin at your choice, said Sir Lancelot. Just out of curiosity, what is the final test? Asked Cayenne. You're going to regret taking these tests there, young Minotaur. Because the final test is 100% impossible. You will not succeed. Lancelot responded with seriousness and empathy. Cayenne takes off the blanket and then stands on the floor in front of Lancelot with courage. Now that I'm all rested up and ready for battle, nothing is impossible, yelled Cayenne with confidence.
I think he's okay. I'm not sure if you want to call him brave or just a little bit foolish. A little bit.
He's strong-headed. He's headstrong, basically.
Okay.
He has strength, but he's dumb as dirt.
Okay. Bring on the next.
Very well there, young Minotaur, Your final test is to fight against a monster that you will definitely...
Oh, goddamn. I hate those little spaces. I think it's something that my mom messed up.
Very well there, young Minotaur. Your final test is to fight against a monster that you will definitely encounter beyond the walls. They are known as phantom-type monsters. Explained Lancelot. Just hand me my axe and I will smite this monster. Caen responded with confidence. Very well then, said Lancelot as he reaches to the left and hands Caen his axe. Caen accepts his axe with confidence. At the same time Lancelot gets off the wooden chair that he was sitting on and begins to leave the church. Follow me if you wish to complete your test, said Lancelot with a hint of sympathy in his heart. Without saying anything, Caen followed Lancelot with no fear on his face.
Alrighty. Oh yeah, the space. I doubt. Now where was that? I have no idea where that was.
You're now to him. I think it says eventually.
What?
Yawning.
Okay. Eventually. Oh, it's probably back up here with the colored letter, isn't it? Yep, it's right there. I see it.
Yep.
Save. Okay. Okay, there we are. Right here.
Follow me if you wish to complete your test, said Lancelot with a hint of sympathy in his heart. Without saying anything, Caen followed Lancelot with no fear on his face. Eventually they arrived in the center of Camelot. Lancelot stopped in his tracks and then looked at Caen. This creature shall be your opponent for this battle. Your goal is to slay the monster, and if you surrender, you fail, explained Sir Lancelot as he points at seemingly nothing but a ghost appears with swirling ectoplasm and holding a lantern with turquoise-colored flames within. The ghost has smooth combed hair and has a gloom look on his face.
It's supposed to be combed. Is that how you spell combed?
Let me get the dictionary. We should pause, folks.
Yeah, what's this pause for this? Okay, guys, it's correct. It's just the Byakugan being stupid. Alrighty.
My name is Cyrus and I once haunted the land of Camelot. Now I obey the orders of the great wizard Merlin, explained the spirit. At the same time Lancelot stepped aside, knowing a battle was about to begin. So the great wizard ordered you to fight me in combat? That is a mistake. I am a warrior and you're just a civilian. A civilian cannot defeat me even if they're dead, already, shouted Caen with confidence as he readies his weapon for battle. Death is inevitable, even to warriors, no matter how great. In this battle you were facing that truth. The spirit responded. Begin, yelled Lancelot. Caen charged at the spirit with anger from the words he told him.
Anger or not, the words are still true, dumbass. Death does not care if you're good or bad, warrior or mage. Death will come when you fail.
Here we go.
Caen was denying the truth in his heart as he swung with all his fury. However, the axe phased through the ghost and the spirit didn't even flinch. Due to the weight of the axe, it fell onto the ground, still in Caen's hand, penetrating the concrete by an inch. Caen stared into the eyes of the spirit with anger and frustration. however the spirit had a chill unimpressed look on his face. No matter how strong nor how much knowledge you have gathered, you will eventually die like everybody else, said the spirit with mockery. Shut up, shouted Cayenne with anger. You should quit. Because you don't have what it takes to be a guild member. You're too young and too foolish, and he will never learn to be a warrior, said the spirit yet again with mockery. Cayenne uses his right arm to swing with frustration and anger, but yet again the axe phases through the ghost, and Cayenne uses his left arm to catch the axe the air before backing 2 feet away from the spirit. At this moment Cayenne had a hunch that this test has something to do with his mental state.
That's your resolve. Because you denied truth to you.
Where does it says Noor?
Nor. Alright, getting up. Let's see here. Eyes and
Hygiene game. Okay.
let's see. There it is. Near how strong nor. No matter how strong.
Oh, it's right there. Okay, I got it.
Alright, pause this so I make sure it's spelled right.
Okay. Oh, you want to check it?
Yep.
All right. And
May
we're
miss
back
some.
on paused.
Alright.
Alrighty. So we fixed that issue there, guys. So let's go on to the next, shall we?
Fire.
Here we go.
Your muscles and your mind will never matter. Because you'll always lose in the face of true death, said the spirit with mockery. This time Cayenne did not listen to the ghost. Instead Cayenne remembered his training on meditation and held his axe in front of his face and closed his eyes to meditate and calm himself down. What do you think you're doing? You're just a stupid cow. Someone as ignorant as you can never defeat things that the world can never understand, said the ghost with mockery. Skull splitter. Cayenne yelled in his mind as he opens his eyes with anger, then jumps into the air, twirling his body with his axe out. The attack was on target, but yet again it phased through the ghost head, and then Cayenne landed 4 feet of behind the ghost.
Here's something you cannot connect to.
Try explaining that to Cayenne.
So I'm not gonna explain it. I'm enjoying the show. Hey, yo, Markiplier. This shit funny. You got a camera? Oh, way ahead of you.
What's a camera?
Oh, fine. Ye old magic sphere that captures images.
What was that? Your stamina energy is no match for me, said the ghost with confidence and mockery. Cayenne taking heavy breaths from
Vicious
executing
mockery.
a powerful move. Cayenne turned around and looked.
You know what would be funny is if the ghost was being played by Stevie.
You are failure. You are. Merlin hired me to roast you. You are failure. You shall be mutton chops. You shall be bratwurst. You shall be steak.
Nom. Okay, now you're making me think about pork chop. Well, that. Oh, you.
We already have burgers. Slow down there.
All right. Yeah,
What
fair
was
enough.
that? Your stamina energy is no match for me, said the ghost with confidence and mockery. Cayenne taking heavy breaths from executing a powerful move. Cayenne turned around and looked face to face with the spirit in front of him. Cayenne tries to think of what he can do to win this battle and not fall prey to the ghost's mockery. Running out of ideas, Cayenne decided to headbutt his opponent. So with a combination of speed and leg strength, he launched himself like a rocket towards the ghost. This time the attack seemed to actually contact with the enemy opponent instead of phase through the ghost, but it didn't seem to do any damage. Headbutting the ghost was like headbutting an invisible wall, but with no force. After hitting the target, Cayenne tries to push as much physical strength as he could to try to actually do some damage, but the ghost is flipped him on nose, which caused Cayenne to go flying backwards on his feet, landing on the ground, losing his axe next
It's
to
supposed to
him
be
in the
flicked.
flicked.
Guys.
He flipped my nose. He just fucking grabbed my nose and flipped like a bottle.
Well, we're gonna pause the video and figure out how that's spelled. Okay, we're back. So, okay, so you said he just like grabbed. No, he just like went like this with his fingers and just flicked
Yep,
him on
I
the
know.
nose.
Just fucking index finger, thumb, flick.
After hitting the target, Cayenne tries to push as much physical strength as he could to try to actually do some damage, but the ghost is flicked him on nose, which caused Cayenne to go
The
flying
ghost
back.
is it's supposed to
Oh, the ghost flicked him.
just okay, hang on. The ghost just.
J-U-S-T.
Yeah, I know how to spell that.
Then why you let Louis Speech do it?
Because I'm lazy.
No, well, that's the best. To be fair, good answer.
I'm not a liar. I know my limitations.
And I know how to type 4 letters.
The ghost just flicked him on nose, which caused Cayenne to go flying backwards on his feet, landing
On
on
the
the
nose,
ground,
not
losing
on
his
nose, just on the.
Flicked him on. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. His nose, his snout, his nasal cavity.
The ghost just flicked him on the nose, which caused Cayenne to go flying backwards on his feet, landing on the ground, losing his axe next to him in the process. "I yield," said Cayenne, lying on his back on the stone ground. At that moment the ghost looked at Lancelot, and then Lancelot took a heavy sigh.
Alright, I'm gonna fix this.
You should have figured out phantom means ghost, and ghost means. You can't fist fight a ghost, trust me, I tried.
It's like punching
Why do
the
you think
air.
It's like punching the air. Why do you think I load my shotgun cells with salt? I learned that shit from the Winchesters.
Alright, here we go.
Why? How come no matter how hard I try I always fail? No matter how hard I train nor what I do I always fail. Is it my destiny to be nothing more than a civilian? I am just so weak and can never seem to become the warrior I always wanted to be. The only explanation for all of my failure is that it is meant to be, and I will never have the power to change who I am. If that's the case, I would wish someone to end my life, said Cayenne as he lays in his own puddle of tears. That will not be necessary,
Seriously,
there,
calm
Cayenne.
down there, boy.
Because you passed the test, said Lancelot.
Yeah, wow. He just went through a whole freaking like
It's a crisis. Jesus Christ, boy.
just went through like well, he basically just
You lost one thing. You lost once, and then you say my life is over. I should end it like some. Bro, calm the fuck down.
Okay, back up there, gun cake. Remember when I said he lost several times and almost got himself killed in the wild?
Ow.
So you're wrong about that.
No, I mean in this fucking test, he succeeded once.
He
twice.
put his past failures with this test. How?
Failures make you stronger. Every time you walk away from, think I'm. And also, you're tasked to fight a ghost. How can you fight a ghost if you're axe through it? That was an unfair test, regardless. You can't fist fight a ghost. You ain't fucking Mike Tyson. You ain't no motherfucking Doomslayer, and you damn ain't no fucking Ghostbuster. We don't want to get sued by whoever holds the rights to
Paramount Pictures.
Just to say like this test was already rigged from the start, because you can't fist fight a ghost, and plus I'm pretty sure only magic and ghosts.
So, here's the question: what do you think this was all about?
Shit, I don't fucking know. Let's keep going.
That bad.
That will not be necessary, there,
That's the
Cayenne.
speech.
Because you passed the test, said Lancelot, approaching Cayenne. Cayenne's ear twitched, and then he sat up and looked at Lancelot with surprise.
What? Huh?
No, there's no Hans universe. It's you.
No, my dear guide. Here we go again. He's never gonna let the use go.
Nope.
I guess it's kind of like how I never let go with freaking Steve He lines.
He is stuck in our consciousness. He is there. He's there to call us failure. He's my sleep paralysis demon.
There are so many warriors out there who I've seen died in battle because they thought they could handle everything by themselves. Explain Lancelot. Then you mean this test was about? Said Cayenne with excitement. Teamwork. You have to understand there, young Minotaur, there are some battles where you do have the option to retreat, but there's also battles that you know that should never be retreated. Regardless, you passed a test with flying colors, but I think you still have a lot to learn about what battles you should retreat from and what ones you should not. Explain Lancelot. Sniffle.
Teamwork.
Thank you very much there, master. I will do my best to never forget your teachings, said Cayenne as he bows and respect to Lancelot. As an immediate response, Lancelot smiles.
Okay, so what he means by that, he's saying that you can't fight things, with just warriors. You need spellcasters as teammates, basically.
I was about to say that does not. My thought would be like, you pick your battles. You know you can't fight his enemy, so you probably retreat and come back when you actually can fight proper help.
End of part 1.
Well, that's the end of this one. I hope you well, what'd you think of this one? This part, anyways, of the book.
It was alright, but the kid's a bitch regardless so far. He fights good, it's just he needs to change the way the way he thinks about stuff.
Alright there, guys. Please like and subscribe, and this is Torch and Gunkit signing out.